Hi everyone and welcome along. Today we've got another therapeutic relaxing watercolour tutorial for you. So grab your paints and let's get started. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is tape around the edges. This is washi tape. It is a low tack sort of masking tape and it is great for keeping your watercolour paper in place and making sure that the paint doesn't get underneath the seal of the tape. However, what it is also really good at is not being so sticky that when you peel it off it peels away the top layer of the paper too, because normal masking tape, which is used more for DIY home decorating and stuff, that's just a bit stronger and that's more likely to pull the paper off. So yeah, use this washi tape, and it's often a very pretty kind of tape. It comes in lots of nice colours and patterns, and there are loads of different brands who do it, but it's very readily available in stationery stores because it's just so pretty. Okay, what we're going to do today is a really nice sort of therapeutic, relaxing bit of watercolour for that period that we're all in at the moment, at the time of filming anyway, where it's sort of just past Christmas. It's not quite New Year, we're not quite into the new year of new fresh starts and things. We're just sort of, yeah, in a bit of flux. So what I'm going to do is create a lovely sort of wet watercolour translucence of just some of our favourite things to paint, and it'll create a rather nice little artwork. So I've got my size 4 brush, I've got some green gold, got some sap green mixed, I've got some cadmium orange, yellow ochre, cadmium yellow. These are going to be our colour palettes for this first bit. So everything's just woken up in the palette, and I'm just going to begin by painting some really wet, really wet there, isn't it? You can see the colour really sort of sitting up on the page. Some leaves, nice and simple. If you're sort of really new to watercolour and even painting leaves is a bit like, oh, how do we do that? Well, I've got a whole playlist. Firstly, the Watercolour for Beginners playlist is really fantastic for the absolute basics, and then we've got the playlist called the Quick Fix playlist, which is where we take sort of simple techniques and things and we just go through it really sort of basic, one thing at a time basically. So if you've maybe just very recently started watercolour painting, maybe you got a kit for Christmas, then that is the place to look. So I'm now taking very dilute sap green and I'm painting through the other set of leaves and coming off to the side to create this leaf shape. I'm using my pointed round brush. I always say rounded point. Pointed round brush, starting with the tip, squashing it down to create these nice leaf shapes and just edging off, and so we're going to get these lovely crisp edges on the piece. So I'm going to keep sort of taking ever so slightly different colours. It's always nice and dilute, and just paint in palms, leaves, just trying to sort of mix it up a little bit each time. And what's really important is making sure you maintain an element of unpainted space around these. The other thing I can do is just drop in some slightly different colours just lightly in there. So I'm going to just keep working whilst it's all very slowly drying, because I want it to maintain a bleed and a blend. So it's going to have sort of some layering. You can see here the green underneath has dried, but then that yellow is still wet enough for a little bit of a blend. You want to make sure that your paint is nice and diluted for a lovely translucent finish, which just means that it's going to be much easier for other colours to show up on top, or if you want to just run different colours through there. It's also important to have different shaped leaves coming up as well. So I'm just going to keep carrying on, filling up this page, and then we'll let it dry and maybe pop in another layer of some sort. So I've painted in as much foliage as I would like to. It's still a bit wet up here, but it's still fairly damp. It's gradually drying. So I think what I'd like to do now is actually do some splattering on top. So I'm going to take some slightly more concentrated versions of my colours, and I've got a size 6 brush, so I need quite a lot on the brush, and I'm just going to sort of flick it onto the page, and what's going to happen is it's going to bleed into the wet paint, but it's going to stay lovely and crisp on the areas of dry page, which is quite fun. And then I think what we'll do is we'll just add a little bit of green gold splatters as well. And if for no other purpose, this is just a really fun painting process. It's therapeutic, it's very relaxing, and then at the end we'll have a lovely piece of art as well. Just be a little bit careful if you're pulling the paper off immediately after doing a wet layer of paint. And don't forget to clean up the table afterwards. But there we go, a lovely bit of mindful watercolour when you're feeling a little bit frazzled. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed that one. I want to say a huge thank you to my patrons for their support, because that enables us to keep creating videos that everyone can enjoy. And if you enjoyed it, then hit the like button and comment below to let me know how you got on with that one. And of course, if you never want to miss another video, then hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell, and we'll see you again next time.